Last year I moved into a new apartment with my girlfriend and transferred my entire setup into this new studio. I already own most of the gear, so it wasn't about starting from scratch. It was more about rethinking the space and adapting it to this new chapter. Over the past months, a lot has changed though. I upgraded, replaced, and reworked a few key things. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through what's new in my home office and why I decided to switch things up. And just a quick note for those who are new here, everything you see in this setup is listed on my website, organized by category, so you can easily find anything you're curious about. The desk I'm currently using is the BALOLO'S Cockpit, which has become the foundation of my entire workspace. What immediately stood out to me was the build quality. The entire structure is made of solid steel, which makes the desk feel extremely stable and robust, even when fully loaded. On top of that, the quality of the American walnut is beautiful. It adds warmth to the setup and gives the desk a premium feel. Another thing I really appreciate is the size. It's exactly what I've been looking for, and it fits the space perfectly without ever feeling overwhelming or limiting. A big reason I see this as a long-term desk is the upgradability. And I'm not just talking about the grid system, even though that's obviously the key feature here, but the fact that the whole desk feels designed to evolve over time. Just like the setup cockpit, it features a hidden mounting grid underneath, which lets you attach compatible BALOLO accessories and really customize how everything is laid out. Things like the cable tray I use to hide all the messy cables, which can also be opened from both sides, the stackable trays where I store smaller items, and the headphone holder. You can also connect the desk via Bluetooth using the Desk Connect app, where you can customize height limits, set preferred positions, and enable the automatic drive feature. That allows you to simply double tap the desk to move it to the next height preset, which is something I use constantly throughout the day. All of this combined is what makes this desk feel like something I can build around for years, rather than something I'll want to replace anytime soon. The link will be in the description. As for the monitor, I'm still using the LG UltraGear 45GS95QE. I did consider upgrading to the higher resolution model, the LG GX9, but I ended up not doing it, and there's a specific reason for that. We're planning to move to another country, possibly later this year, and I'm actively trying to reduce how much stuff I own. So buying new gear right now doesn't really help with that goal. That said, this monitor is still working incredibly well for me. The massive screen real estate has been amazing for video editing, and for multitasking and productivity it's even better. I often have Safari open with two windows side by side, and when I'm recording voiceovers, I like having my script on the side and Premiere Pro on the other, so I can read and record at the same time without switching back and forth. Speaking of voiceovers, I recently got the Maono PD200W Hybrid, and they're also sponsoring this section of the video. The PD200W Hybrid is Maono's first wireless dynamic microphone, which means you can record voiceovers while keeping your desk completely free of cables. It offers 3 different connectivity modes, such as wireless, USB, and traditional XLR, so it's really flexible depending on how you want to use it. Personally, I really enjoy the wireless mode. Not only does it keep my desk way more uncluttered compared to a full XLR setup, but it also speeds up my workflow by removing the need for a separate audio interface. I've been recording this section of the video with it, and for the price, the audio quality is pretty solid. It also features an RGB ring light that you can customize with a single click, which is a nice touch if you like having a bit of visual feedback on your gear. The mic comes with a desktop stand and a small receiver that you just plug directly into your laptop. I really like how small the footprint is, and the fact that it helps keep my desk clean while making recording quicker makes it a great option for a lot of people. Now, full transparency, the main voiceover of this video was recorded using my Shure SM7B. That's simply because it's still my go-to mic for final voiceover, and the sound signature is on a different level. But that doesn't take anything away from the PD200W Hybrid. If you're stepping into content creation, starting a YouTube channel, or building your first setup, this is a mic I definitely recommend. It's easy to use, versatile, and removes a lot of friction from the recording process. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description below. The next newer addition to my office is the LiberNovo Omni chair. Before this, I was using the Steelcase Jester, which is still my favorite in terms of aesthetics and overall build quality. That said, when it comes to comfort, I honestly think the LiberNovo is better. The seat is noticeably softer, not as firm as the Jester, and even after many hours of sitting, I don't really feel fatigued. One thing I don't love though is the missing seat depth adjustment, which I had on the Jester. That feature alone was amazing. It gave me more room to sit properly, and that's probably my biggest complaint with this chair. Aside from that, the rest of the chair is extremely adjustable. The armrest can be moved in 4 different directions, the headrest has 3 adjustment points, there are 4 tilt levels, and most importantly, it features a motorized lumbar support, which really makes it stand out. You can control the lumbar support directly from the buttons on the side, and there's even a dedicated button to stretch and relax your lower back. I also feel like the lowest lumbar setting is already in a really good position for daily use, while the highest setting is clearly designed more for the stretch function when fully reclined. Another really important detail is how the chair moves with you. When you tilt back, the backrest, armrest and headrest all stay in sync, so you're always properly supported. After using it for about a month now, I'm generally happy with this upgrade, aside from the few things I mentioned earlier. And if you want to dive deeper, I recently uploaded a full video on my channel where I go through all the features in detail. Going back to my monitor, I've been using the BenQ ScreenBar Halo 2 for the past few months, and I've been really enjoying the experience, especially with the upgrades it brings. First of all, the backlight is noticeably bigger, and it's now so good that I completely removed the light strip I previously had behind the monitor. The remote controller also got a nice update. It's now rechargeable via USB-C, it includes a new option to turn the motion sensor on or off, and it finally has a display that lets you precisely control both the color, temperature and brightness of the front and back lights. Overall, it's been a really solid upgrade and a big improvement for my everyday setup. As my main docking station, I'm using the CalDigit TS5 Plus. With 20 available ports, this thing is basically the ultimate connectivity hub for my setup. It's definitely on the chunky side though, and by default it doesn't really fit inside the BALOLO tray unless you create some separation between the shelf and the tray itself. One of the latest additions to my setup is the Elgato Stream Deck Plus. This is probably one of the most functional peripherals I've ever owned. It's clearly designed with streamers in mind to speed up workflow during live streams, but it also works incredibly well as a general productivity tool. I'm still only scratching the surface of what's possible with it, but for now I've set up some basic functions, things like controlling my Philips Hue lights, opening my Notion template, locking my screen, and even running a custom script editor shortcut to eject my SD card. And if you're wondering how I got it suspended like this, I'm using BALOLO'S new Stream Deck Plus holder. I place it right in front of me so I can quickly access it and make adjustments without breaking my workflow. Speaking of holders, BALOLO also recently released a controller holder. If you have a hybrid setup for both productivity and gaming, that's honestly great news. Lets you keep your controllers neatly organized and always within arm's reach. I don't want this video to turn into a half-hour setup tour, so I'm just going to quickly mention a few other accessories I'm currently using. Starting with my mouse, I recently upgraded to the MX Master 4. It brings a bunch of new features that I've already covered in another video about functional desk accessories, so I won't go too deep into it here. The Low Free Flow 84, it's still my go-to mechanical wireless keyboard. I love it for its compact size, amazing typing feel, and clean minimal design. To protect the desk and add a bit more functionality, I'm still using the GroveMate Studio Pad. It's been my go-to desk pad for a long time now, and it fits perfectly with the overall vibe of the room. For charging, my favorite setup so far has been the Nomad Stand 1 Max. The build quality is incredible, it stays rock solid on the desk, and it charges all my devices quickly and reliably. And lastly, I had to replace my iPad Pro M2. I broke the screen, and repairing it would have cost almost as much as buying a new one. So instead, I picked up an M4 on Facebook Marketplace for 900 euros. It also came with a Logitech Combo Touch keyboard, both in great conditions. So I think I made a pretty good deal. With that said, let's move on to my newer 3D printing workshop. Recently, I decided to completely revamp my closet and turn it into a fully functional storage and 3D printing space, so it would finally match the rest of the setup aesthetically. I was honestly tired of how messy it looked before, so I took my time to customize it around my needs and finally dedicate a proper space to my newest hobby. I've been really enjoying 3D printing custom pieces to improve the organization of my workspace, and I'm excited to explore even more possibilities moving forward. As my main printer, I'm using the Creality K2 combo, which in my opinion is one of the best looking printers out there. The CFS is another big highlight. As soon as you feed the filament into the tube, it automatically starts loading it, and one thing I absolutely love is that once a spool runs out, the printer automatically switches and keeps printing using the same color. That means fewer failed prints and no more worrying about running out of filament mid-print. On the left we have the Creality Falcon A1, a laser engraver that was sent over for me to try. I don't necessarily need a laser engraver, but being able to precisely cut wood sheets or acrylic plates can be really useful for specific projects, even if I'm still discovering what those use cases are. If you want to dive deeper into this workspace, I recently uploaded a full video where I built it completely from scratch. Moving to the back of my setup, this is where my coffee corner lives. A few months ago, I built it to give this area a purpose, and we've been using it to make some really good cappuccinos and teas. The machine I'm using is from Meraki, and I talk more about it in my dedicated coffee corner video if you're interested in checking that out. Unfortunately, I'll probably have to let this setup go soon. I'm planning to sell a few things to save up for a move abroad, which means I'll likely be starting from zero again. So if you notice it missing in future videos, that's the reason. In the meantime, I'll be using this area as a camera gear organization station. It's honestly a bit scary to think that I'll be leaving this office in the near future, but at the same time, it's really exciting knowing that a new beginning is on the horizon. For those who don't know, I currently live on a remote Spanish island, and while it's an amazing place to live, it can be pretty limiting when it comes to working with brands. Shipping products here isn't always easy. Right now, moving is still more of a long-term plan than a reality, but we've already started taking the first steps towards it. And with that said, I really hope this video inspired you in some way, whether that's getting into 3D printing, building a coffee corner, or simply improving your own workspace. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.